What's up guys, I'm Taylor with TK Disc Golf and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I've got my hands on Discraft's new Mega Glow plastic and we're going to be putting it head to head against MVP's Eclipse Glow. Now everybody knows that MVP's Eclipse Glow plastic has been the best on the market for many years, but when a competitor like Discraft comes along saying, hey, we've upped the ante, I've got to get my hands on it to do some glow comparisons. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. Now, I've been doing these glow comparison videos the past couple years now, but for those of you that may have never seen one, I've got this light meter that measures a unit of measure called lux, and that allows me to take this data and plug it into Excel to get some pretty cool line charts to get a good visual representation of which brands are the brightest and which ones just truly are not. To collect my data points, I charge each disc for 30 seconds. Once that time is up, I turn the UV light off and I tape the light meter to the rim of the disc, and then at the 10-second mark on my stopwatch, that's when I collect initial brightness, because that's honestly how long it takes me to tape the light meter to the edge of the disc. And then every 30 seconds after that, I will collect more data points all the way up to the 10-minute mark, and that's honestly enough data points to get a good visual representation of the decrease in glow brightness over time. Now, the discs I will be measuring along with the Discraft Buzz is the Eclipse Hex. That's the closest green glow disc I could find from MVP that is from a recent run and a mid-range. So that's my closest comparison for that. But I also wanted to compare some solo mold discs as well. So the Drift is the smallest diameter streamline disc that I have that's an Eclipse green glow plastic. And then lastly, I threw in the Lift because this Lift, I don't think it's a mutant. I just think for some reason the Lift sets up really bright with the Eclipse plastic. So it is the brightest Eclipse plastic that I've ever tested, so I wanted to throw that in the experiment as well. Now, this first chart that we're looking at, I wanted to throw in some previous year's data as well, just because I've been doing the experiment for so long. I do have previous year's data I can pull from. So we do have 2023 Discraft and 2024 Discraft. These were the Halloween releases. I don't really know Discraft's plastic too well, so you might have to drop a comment down below with which ones those were to inform the viewers. I honestly should know that, but I just don't. But I also have Innova's prototype glow plastic as well. That was the XD that came out last year, to throw into the data just to show where it's all stacking up. So first and foremost, you're going to look at this and see that the 2024 Discraft, which I believe was like that opaque glow of theirs, was the worst of the data, but honestly wasn't too bad. It held a glow for a good amount of while. The next step up was the 2023 Halloween glow from Discraft, followed closely by the Innova Proto Glow. Now, in that video when I did the comparison of Eclipse versus Innova Proto Glow, I did say obviously MVP has the brighter glow, no doubt, but the Innova Proto Glow is plenty visibly bright to the naked eye, and that's kind of where Discraft's Mega Glow is sticking up. It's a little bit higher than Innova's Proto Glow, but slightly below the Hex, which is MVP's Eclipse plastic. Next, above the Hex, I was not surprised to see that the Solo Mold Drift, which is a like 6 or 7 speed fairway driver from Streamline, was slightly brighter than the Hex. I think the Hex doesn't measure as bright because the actual overmold on this one is not a total Eclipse glow. That's where they have the glow core and the glow rim. So I think the brightness of the Hex might be slightly affected, but not too bad, obviously, because the Drift is not that much ahead of where the Hex is at. And then finally, the Lift was still the king of glow because that thing for some reason is just super bright. Out of all the different MVP, Axiom, and Streamline molds I've tested, the Lift is consistently the brightest of the molds. Now, I put some more individual graphs together just so you guys can pause the video and look at them a little bit closely. I'm going to gloss over them really fast, not to spend too much time. We've got Discraft comparisons from 2023, 2024, and the Mega Glow. Next chart, I wanted to throw the Hex versus the Buzz, and as you can see, their brightness is pretty close, but MVP's Hex still has the edge over the Buzz. And lastly, a little bit more of a cleaned up graph just showing the Buzz versus the 3 different MVP discs I compared it to. Now that we've seen these graphs, the data clearly shows that MVP is still the outright leader of brightest and longest lasting glow, but Discraft's Mega Glow is a very close contender as far as the data goes. But what does this mean for the good old eyeballs? To me, they're pretty much indistinguishable in person. Both are insanely bright. They light up a room when the lights are off, and that's all you need. You really don't need a disc to last more than 10 to 15 minutes, and both of these brands are exceeding that expectation by miles. We can't forget about Innova's Proto Glow as well, but between these 3 brands, they're all 3 leading the charge in glow technology, but there's one thing that MVP has that the other 2 do not, and that is consistency over time. MVP has been producing the Eclipse Glow plastic at the brightest capacity they possibly can for probably the past 4 to 5 years. And obviously, yes, I am on Team MVP, but I do want to see all of the brands in the disc golf marketplace have great glow so I can go out and throw some glow rounds with my friends and not worry about losing their discs. But with all that being said, hats off to Discraft for seriously stepping up their glow technology. It's really cool to see that other brands are taking the glow ray seriously enough now to try to step up their game and match about where MVP's at. So really cool stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick comparison video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our MVP content, and we will see you on the next video.